Hello, good afternoon. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125, all social media platforms, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. This is Election Brief. My name is Kenneth Jesse. Election Headquarters is brought to you by Petrosol, your clean fuel in full quantity, and the Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, together as the Association of International Certified Professional Accountants, Chopbox Technologies, a convenient service, and Youth Bridge Foundation. The Gap for Positive Youth Development. Please stay for details. Hello again. The Electoral Commission says it will provide enough time for all persons seeking to run for office in the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections in order to reduce the chances of disqualification. In the lead-up to the 2020 elections, as many as 5 presidential aspirants were disqualified for various reasons. Some of them pointed to the short window provided by the Commission for the filing of nominations. However, speaking at the National Peace Council Stakeholders Forum to promote peaceful 2024 elections, Deputy Commissioner in charge of operations Samuel Tete said enough time will be given to ensure all candidates get their nominations right.
And previously, because of challenges characterizing the receipt of nomination, the Commission made 2 innovations. 1, balloting for positions, and then 2, extending the days for the nomination so that if there are certain challenges on the nomination form of a particular candidate, we will be able to resolve that before we put them on the ballot papers. And the Commission, as of now, has procured about 90% of all the election-related materials that they need to conduct the 2024 elections. The only thing that we are left with is the printing of the ballot papers, and that one will be known after the receipt of nominations. In a nutshell, we are trying to say is that for us to have a very peaceful, credible, and transparent elections, let us look at all the processes of the Commission. The processes are so transparent, and at every stage of the process, if you have a challenge, there is an appropriate venue that you can choose. It is the will of the people which will prevail.
Meanwhile, speaking at the same event, Chairman of the National Peace Council, Reverend Dr. Ernest Adujemfi, asserted that even though the pockets of violence experienced in the previous 2020 general elections dented the image of the country, hence the need to take steps to ensure a peaceful and transparent elections this year.
The dialogue series is the second after a similar one was held ahead of the 2020 elections. The series, organized by the Peace Council, seeks to foster unity and to contribute in ensuring peaceful and credible elections. Dr. Adujemfi said, to move beyond our collective pain to a place of healing, the National Peace Council engaged people who were affected in the elections.
The National Peace Council engaged stakeholders in the 5 constituencies where the unfortunate loss of lives occurred, namely Awutu Senya, Odododiodio, Ablekuma Central, Techiman South, and Savulugu. The lessons learned and the recommendations from these engagements were documented to serve as building blocks for a 3-day national dialogue that took place from 29th June to the 1st of July 2021 in Adan. The national dialogue developed a roadmap that sought to counter election-related violence and strengthen processes to building a greater cohesion, political tolerance, and nation building. One of the recommendations from the National Dialogue was to institute a platform for inter-party dialogue for regular consensus building. The Peace Council is happy to report that since January 2023, that goal has been achieved.
The Peace Council chairperson said democracies around the world are under attack, adding that not even the champions of democracy have been spared.
Looking at events around the world, it appears democracies across the globe are under attack, to the extent that the champions of democracy, the United States of America, has not even been spared. Election, which is in many democracies is accepted as the mechanism for choosing leaders for states, have now become a ground for violence.
Deputy Special Representative of the Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel, Ms. Berry Freeman, said social media had the potential of triggering violence if people use it wrongly.
This year's elections, the 9th since 1992, will again test the resilience of Ghana's democratic process. Misinformation and disinformation that spreads all too quickly on social media, youth's disenchantment with politics, socioeconomic hardship, and a rise in inflammatory statements and hate speech. These are all factors that could unleash negative passions and trigger violence during the electoral period.
The Northern Regional Minister, Shani Alhassan Shaibu, said instability in neighboring countries should remind Ghanaians to opt for peace.
Instability in neighboring countries reminds us of the importance of conflict prevention. Ghana's discovery of oil, the challenge of illegal mining, and the potential for resource-related conflicts further emphasizes the need for proactive measures to maintain peace.
Well, in most stories today, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, has questioned the readiness of the Electoral Commission to conduct a free, fair and transparent election in December. The NDC's concern stems from the figures the EC chairperson, Jim Mensah, presented to Parliament last week on the total number of persons registered so far ahead of a scheduled mop-up exercise next month. At an inter-party advisory committee meeting on Thursday, the NDC raised the concerns, urging the EC to rectify the anomaly. Now, we have the Deputy General Secretaries for the NDC, Mustafa Gbande, on Zoom, and also the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP, Haruna Mohammed, also join us via the telephone lines to discuss this development. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Now, let me start with you, Haruna. Do you share in the sentiment of the NDC that the figures need some cleaning?
Thank you very much. I would first of all say good afternoon to your Charles US and my good brother for his run around internally to find favor in the good people of the North. Well, I think that the NDC has not taken this election very seriously. And if they would want to take this election very serious, they should take the CI that it used for this particular process is very serious, i.e. CI 91 and CI 127, which respectively one for registration and one for the elections. The first meeting that we had before this one was the 1st of July. We discussed matters concerning this limited registration. We discussed matters bordering on proxy votes, and also we discussed matters containing the registration of the security services with regards to the limited registration exercise. We also discussed the motion or the agenda that was discussed yesterday at yesterday's meeting regarding the mop-up exercise. So if these are the things that we are discussing, then you want to be discussing tangential relative to figures that have been put there. When the laws are very clear, my brother, if you go and look at CI 91, Regulation 22, compilation of provisional register of voters, and you also go and look at the same CI 91, and you look at exhibition, it is clear that what the NDC is seeking now is premature. It doesn't exist at this particular moment. You can only raise an issue to the EC with regards to this figure, but not to take it as a mountain of issues that have nothing relative to what the Constitution or the laws of that regulates election is supposed to be.
Okay.
So we are yet to even get a provisional register as stipulated by Regulation 22 of the ECCI that is used for registration of voters. So for me, they have legitimate reasons to say what they want, but they should know at the right time when they should be raising these particular issues. These are not what the issues that will let them win the elections. They must be very circumspect when they are dealing with some of these matters. Ghanaians are well awake to understand that elections are governed by rules and regulations, and we are very much concerned that the CI is very clear. This raising of these issues is premature.
And are you confident in the EC's promise to work on your concerns?
Yes, we are confident because for us, these are information that EC has gone to Parliament to provide. And Parliament has a constitutional duty to call on bodies, that ministry, departments, agencies to come and clarify matters that Parliament seeks to get clarifications on. Parliament called on the EC. The EC has gone to do a presentation. The EC at the last IPAC meeting also gave us figures pertaining to the additions on the 2023 limited registration and the 2024. It was not conclusive, even though we were given a document relative to that. We are still waiting because we in the NPP are not taking these particular figures full life thinker. But what we are very much concerned is to make sure that the provisions of the CI, that is CI 91, relative to registration of voters is our concern. So if EC should bring 1 + 1 = 3, they should. What we have to do is that we have bred the minds of our research. We have bred the minds of the elections directory. We have bred the minds of our IT to take cognizance of these particular errors. And at the appropriate time, per the distributions of the CI, we will respond and make sure that the right thing is done before Regulation 27 or 28 is being activated, and that is the satisfied register. So these are the issues that we are looking at. We're not going to make noise. We're not going to follow the crowd, but we are going to make sure that at least the laws work, and Dr. Bawumia will be the president.
Haruna, hold on. I'll come back to you. Let me now bring in the NDC's Mustafa Gbande. Mr. Gbande, welcome to the program. What specific anomalies did the NDC identify in the figures presented by the Electoral Commission Chairperson, Jean Mensah?
Yeah, good afternoon. And good afternoon to my brother and our cherished listeners. Forgive me, I'm in Tamale.
Yes.
We are preparing for campaign lunch, so my voice is not the same as a usual day. I've been listening to my brother, and I don't seem to understand the leg and tail of what he has said in the last 10 minutes. The issues are very simple. The Electoral Commission is required by law to publish figures of a registration exercise that have already taken place. All right? And you all are aware that we have had a registration exercise. The figures have not yet been published. The Electoral Commission called for an IPAC meeting to discuss the figures, only for us to realize that the figures were full of errors and mix-up of data. When questions were raised, the Electoral Commission then says that it has to revert to its technical team. Which of that is a complex language that my brother doesn't understand? Then the issues are not about the data. The issue is the fact that a commission is not ready and is not having available information on its own data. And so it has to go back to a technical team and bring them to IPAC to come and explain. That is why we are talking about the professional competence and readiness of the Electoral Commission to do right. Because it is ordinarily expected that if your subordinates compile data, you will have a post-IPAC meeting conference with your own office, understand the figures, question the figures before you come out. We know what the Electoral Commission brought is not accurate. That is why we are asking the questions. And the Electoral Commission admitted in that meeting that they are going back to consult their technical team. So what is the noise that my brother is making? Is that a complex English he cannot break down? It is not good for the commission to come before IPAC and not...
Mustafa, let me come in here. How significant are these anomalies in terms of their potential impact on the election's outcome?
Well, if you go and mix up data of multiple registrants to special voters register, it is significant enough to mislead the accuracy of the data. And I'm saying that one single number of error from the Electoral Commission is enough to compromise the credibility of its own data.
Okay.
Now, the issue is not even whether the figures are accurate or not. The bizarre circumstance is when the Electoral Commission is not having information on its own data. Then we are asking, who are the commissioners? Who is managing the commission? Are the real commissioners that we know really the ones managing the commission? How come you call IPAC, put out agenda for IPAC? We know, you and I know that you are going to discuss registration data, only to come, you don't have information. Is it not strange? Does that not cast a spell on the commission itself to demonstrate that they are incompetent? That does not show that the commission is not ready to do what is right. Then the NPP is jumping around. They don't have the data we have. We are having data, and we have been able to point out to the commission that there are problems with the figures we are putting out.
Right. Mustafa, hold on. Let me bring back Haruna. Haruna, how does the NPP view the EC's overall preparedness for the upcoming election, especially in light of the concerns raised by the NDC?
Yes, you see, my brother, I can appreciate the fact that you don't get to understand what I have said. I am saying this from my experience in elections. I have followed elections and election processes from 2004 when I completed tertiary and I decided to go straight into assisting my party in election organization. What I'm saying is that these figures they are talking about are premature figures. These are just pure data, pure additions, pure cumulative information that the Electoral Commission puts together. That does not constitute the register that is going to be used for the election. And that is why I went straight forward to quote the various aspects of the law, and that is CI 91, Regulation 22. It talks about compilation of provisional register. Then you read Regulation 23, it talks about exhibition. If the provisional register comes, and the law says, and I read, at the end of the compilation of the provisional register, as provided in Sub-Regulation 1, a copy of the provisional register shall be given to each registered political party in the form determined by the Commission. So if this is given us, and we are critiquing this document, then we can make an informed decision as to whether the Electoral Commission is prepared or not. But you can't stand now and look at cumulative data because of the desperate nature of your candidate. You want to throw dust into the eyes of the people of Ghana and to dent the credibility of an institution that has performed so better in Africa and even in the world, so that people will undermine the credibility of such an institution. It is so bad that affects our democracy. And that is what I'm talking about. For us, we are very much interested in a very credible election because NPP has always been the beacon of democracy. We are the only political party that has never organized a coup in this country. We have demonstrated that. So we welcome every criticism that makes the duty of our democracy very clear. But we must be very careful how we attack institutions that work for this particular nation. So for us, whether Electoral Commission is making those mistakes, we take cognizance of this particular errors that is being made. We are not here to defend Electoral Commission. We are watching Electoral Commission. We are making sure that all these issues are taken notice of, and we are going to follow through to the regulations that work on this particular election.
Okay. Haruna, hold on for me. I'll come back to you once again. Let me bring in Mustafa Gbande. Mustafa, you left IPAC, you returned. I want to find out from you, what role do you believe the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, IPAC, should play in resolving these issues that you have raised and ensuring electoral transparency?
Before I go there, let me first of all tell you, Mohammed is misleading the discussion. He doesn't understand what is at stake. A provisional voters register is different from publication of registration that have been done, the figures of registration. We are talking about figures of the registration exercise we just did. That the Electoral Commission brought those figures, and they were misleading. They were mixed up. We are not talking about voters register. Who is talking about voter register here? You are calling Electoral Commission data raw data. Do you understand what it is? Data that has peculiar numbers to individual name, you are calling it raw data? Please stop misleading the discussion. We are talking about the fact that the Electoral Commission brought out data and the data was full of errors. They were mixed. The Electoral Commissioners were unprepared. They didn't have information as to how come the data was mixed up, which is why they have to go back. And you are talking about NPP being a beacon of democracy. What are you talking about? Number two, IPAC meeting is very important for consensus building. We have always stated so, that political parties have enormous resource and experience in election that the Electoral Commission can always exploit to guide themselves in making its own rules and making its work better. And so it's important that IPAC is called, it's important that the Commission will rely on IPAC. It also gives the Commission the opportunity to get the backing of political party, get the buy-in of their supporters in the decision and steps that the Electoral Commission takes. But in these present circumstances, IPAC is readily meeting, political parties are coming, but the commissioners continue to demonstrate incompetence, lack of preparedness to do right. Because if a commissioner comes to sit at IPAC and does not have information on its own data, then it tells you we are heading to disaster. Are you saying that we'll declare 2024 results and go and call an IT team to come and explain? Is that what we are talking about? Then why is the assurance of the Electoral Commission that it is ready for election? When we continue to say that, yes, the Electoral Commission of Ghana is very credible, it has the opportunity to be competent, but the individuals within the commission are not ready to be competent. And that, for me, is dangerous for us as a nation going into the election, because the NPP has a representation at the commission. They are not bothered and they are not worried, so they are not doing proper thinking through the issues. We don't have representation. President Akufo-Addo appointed a commissioner who holds NPP office at the commission of the Electoral Commission. So therefore, we are like orphans. What we have is to ensure that we are very critical to ensure the Electoral Commission does what is right.
Right. Mr. Haruna, Mr. Bande, Mustafa, hold on. I'll come back to you because, as you rightly mentioned, you are internally for the launch of your party's campaign. But let me conclude with Haruna. Haruna, I'm asking you the same question that I asked Mustafa. What role do you believe that IPAC should play in resolving these issues and ensuring electoral transparency?
For me, what I think should be done is that we should have the clear timelines with respect to how these activities are going to be seen out, with respect to these provisional figures that are being provided. We should have an updated timetable from the Electoral Commission, having had some distractions on the original timeline that has been given, which assurance was given by the Commission at the yesterday's IPAC meeting. When these things are done, the political parties can clearly monitor and then do a follow-up on some of these particular timelines to ensure that some things are being done. What I want to make very clear is that, you see, it is better for a commissioner to make reference to source data that is very clear, rather than to come and sit down and conjecture. The team he's talking about is not an external team that is working and providing information to the Electoral Commission. When we say the commission, the technical team is part of the commission. So if they are making reference that they need to get the technical team, they are going to get a technical team because of the nagging of the NDC. They don't want to just come and provide information that you come and nag as if power is just at your doorsteps. You see, my brother, Gandhi, you see, this small campaign you have gone to the north to do, look, you've already lost your voice. Just take your time, take your cool. You see, NDC is not worth dying for. Just take your cool. We are very prepared to take good care of you. You've already lost your voice. Why? You go and be making noise. And at the end of the day, you just lost your voice. You are a good brother. Please take your care, take your time, and then do it.
Right. Haruna Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the governing New Patriotic Party. I believe, Mustafa Bande, if you're still with me, kindly stay on, because the opposition National Democratic Congress will officially launch its 2024 campaign in Tamale on Saturday. Now, according to the party's flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, the campaign activities will involve all party members at all levels. He also urged party representatives and executives to maintain vigilance on election day until the official results are announced. Right. Okay, let me come back to you. You are currently in Tamale as we speak. How are preparations going on?
So far, so good. The enthusiasm, readiness of our party folks in Tamale, very high. We have engaged with the, overlords of the northern region and announced our intention and purpose in Tamale to them.
Right.
They've given a green light and prayed for us. This Friday, we've engaged all Islamic mosques to pray for us and give us the opening doors of heaven so that victory can be ours.
Okay.
That has been done. We are on a field now. Technical team is on board. Standobe and his team are here. Our guests have started arriving. Tomorrow is a big agenda. It's not a big agenda for only the NDC.
Okay.
It's a big agenda for all Ghanaians who believe that the current president have appetite for corruption. He and his children today are entrepreneurs in their own government, which is a stomach of conflict of interest. We'll deal with that. President Akufo-Addo will have to pay for all of that. Ghanaians are facing hardship. The economy have crashed. Ghanaians cannot wait to see these corrupt regime being removed in the December 7th. So therefore, they are all looking forward to participate in tomorrow's exercise. Tomorrow, there will be a call for the rank and file of the NDC to all rise up and get involved. Right. Because, of course, it's not one person's business. Again, there will be a call on Ghanaians to participate
Mr. Fagbande, I'm sorry, I have to cut in here and touch base with our resident correspondent in the northern region, Martina Bugri. Martina, welcome to the program. How are preparations so far? What have you gathered?
So my understanding is that the party is well prepared. They are about 70% complete with preparations. What they are doing currently is mounting the stage for tomorrow's event. But I'm told that dignitaries have started arriving already. They have the National Communications Director, they have the National Organizer, among other dignitaries who are in town. The National Campaign Manager and his team are also in town. They are having some community engagements already, and they are having some media, joining some media houses, telling their story on these platforms. And so what I'm understanding is that preparations are far advanced for tomorrow's event.
All right, Martina Bugri, thank you very much for that update. That's it for Election Brief today. My name is Kenneth Jesse. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. Bye for now.